Good morning and welcome to day 23 for W for Warrior 3. This is a nice balancing posture and it's a good challenging one. So let's get to the front of the mat, feet together. And from here what we'll do, we'll inhale up first and exhale, we'll bring those palms towards our chest together still, stepping back into our low lunge here. From here, what we will do is shift our weight forward into our front foot. So we're now straightening through our back leg. And what we'll do now is loading up through the front foot as we slightly lift that back leg off the ground and finding our balance here. From here, if you're comfortable, tipping with the upper body forwards as we're keeping the hips both facing the ground. And then we are bringing our toes down towards the ground and bringing our hands above our head so that they're parallel with the ground. Belly button's coming towards our spine. We're keeping those hips facing the ground, toes are facing the ground, and thumbs are facing towards the sky as our hands are reaching forward. And now we're imagining someone pulling our hands out in front of us and stretching our foot out behind us. So a nice lengthened shape here. And then from here, palms come in, bringing the foot back to the front of the mat. And then we would do that on the other leg as well. So it's a really challenging balanced posture, and what we can do there is just really focus on that grounding leg, activating through the toes and through the quads to keep us nice and steady. Okay, cool. So we'll start the rest of our sequence. We'll start with A, the sun salutation A. So inhale, palms come up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to our plank. Knees come to the ground, elbows hug by our sides as we come down to our bellies. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking the toes under, coming through our knees and back to our first downward dog of the class. From here, we're spending a few breaths and we're just focusing on being active into the mat with our hands. Thumbs are facing each other, index fingers are facing forward, and we're creating a nice extension through the spine by bringing our tailbone up to the roof. Each inhale, focus on spreading the ribs and sending the breath down to our bellies. From here, rocking forward onto our hands, stepping forward, both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, palms come up to the top. Exhale, down through center, and we repeat sun salutation A. Inhale, palms come up. Lengthen the side body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as we come down to our plank. Maybe come to our knees again. Elbows hug our sides as we come down to our bellies. Inhale to baby cobra or to full cobra here. Exhale, hips come up and back to our downward dog. And spending a few breaths here as well. You might want to walk out through the knees to help warm up, maybe shifting the hips side to side, finding some nice organic movement here, and then finding a place of stillness. Shifting your weight forward, stepping forward, forward fold, inhale to halfway lift, exhale to fold, inhale, palms come up, exhale, palms down by our sides. B for sun salutation B. Inhale, palms come up as we sit down into chair. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, we step back with the feet to our plank. Maybe staying up in our full plank this time. Hugging our elbows to our sides and inhaling up to our full cobra. Exhaling up and back with the hips to our downward dog. Stepping forward with our right foot to a lunge. Left foot comes out to 45 degrees, back leg straight as we inhale up to warrior one. Exhale, passing down through center, coming through your vinyasa flow from your belly up to full cobra and back to downward dog. Same thing on the left leg comes through, right foot pivots out, inhaling up with the warrior one, looking up at your hands. Exhale, down to through center, and coming through your vinyasa. Back to our downward dog for a few breaths now. Stepping forward to the front of the mat, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale to fold, inhale to chair pose, tucking under with the tailbone, exhale, back to the beginning. And we repeat sun salutation B, inhale to chair pose, squeezing the knees and squeezing the feet together here, exhale to fold, inhale to halfway lift, exhale, stepping back gently with the feet, and coming down onto your bellies to full cobra, and using your hands and your shoulders to come back to your downward dog. Right leg steps forward between the hands, left foot pivots, and we're focusing on really feeling the back edge of that left foot on the ground. Exhale down through center and through your flow here. From your downward dog, left foot steps forward, right foot pivots out to 45. Inhaling up. And exhale down through center and through your flow. And we find stillness in our downward dog for a few breaths. Shift your weight forward, stepping forward to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, palms come by our sides. And we come to C for cat-cow. So inhale, palms come up. Exhale, we fold. Stepping back to our plank. Knees come down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Hands come under shoulders. Neutral spine. Inhale, we tip from the hips, lengthening through the front of the body as we create a nice arch. Exhale, belly button comes to spine, we tip from the pelvis, hiding our tail underneath us, rounding through the spine, feeling a nice gapping through your shoulder blades, and then 4 more in your own time. Hands coming forward, tucking your toes under to our plank. Stepping forward, forward fold, inhale to spread the palms. Exhale, down through center. D for downward dog. Inhale, palms come up. Stretching through the side body each time we do this. Exhale to fold, and we step back to our plank. Hips come up and over, and we might need to readjust the feet slightly to come to a nice spinal extension here. Active through our fingers pushing into the mat. Active through our quads and our toes on the mat. And lifting our tailbone up to the sky. Wrapping our triceps underneath to help bring our shoulders away from our ears. And coming forwards. The top of the mat, inhale to spread the palms, exhale down to the center. E for extended child's pose, inhale, palms come up, exhale to fold, stepping back to our plank, knees come down, feet come together, knees come nice and wide, and we crawl our hands forward to extended child's pose. Palms are active on the ground, so we're getting a nice stretch through our side body here. And we bring them out as far as we can forward while sinking our hips back towards our heels. Trying to imagine we've got a really heavy sort of sandbag sitting on top of our hips, just gently guiding our hips down towards our heels, and you might use your exhale to help relax into this movement. And then knees come together, tucking the toes under, and we come back to our plank. Stepping forward to our forward fold, inhale, breathing the hands together and down through heart center, heel toe, those feet apart to hip width. Inhale to lengthen as we lift our palms. Exhale, we hinge from the hips and we fold over to a forward fold. Now, our main focus here is bring your belly button to your thighs, head to your shins. So you can bend your knees as much as you need. You can bring your hands to your opposite elbows for a variation in ragdoll, which should help lengthen down through your side body. And relaxing the head down nice and heavy and keeping breathing. And with each exhale, you might feel your head becoming a little bit heavier and lengthening through the back body. Then hands coming to the ground, maybe coming up, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae towards the top and opening up through the shoulders. Hands coming to our hips, just coming to a nice counter posture there, small back bend. And then back to neutral, heel toe, those feet inwards. Now we come to G for garland pose. So inhale, palms coming up, and as we're inhaling, we're bringing those heels and toes to the edges of the mat with the toes just creeping over the edge. Sitting back with your hips down into a nice squat here. You might want to move around with your knees a little bit, find a comfortable position, or coming up onto your toes to give your hips a bit more space. And once you've found a space of stillness, opening up through the chest by bringing your elbows actively into your knees. Palms are pressing together. And this should help open up through your chest. You should feel a really nice stretch through your groin. Then bringing your palms to the ground. Heel toeing those feet inwards to a nice forward fold. Inhale, spreading the palms. Exhale down through center. Now we come to H for happy baby pose. Inhale, palms come up. Exhale, we hinge from the hips and fold. Stepping back to our plank. Knees come down, finding our way over onto our backs. You might do a nice roll to massage out through the spine. Then relaxing down, shoulders should meet the mat along with the tailbone. And we bring our knees nice and wide, lengthening through our legs and finding a space to hold our hands on the outside of each leg. This might be at the ankle, at the foot, at the thigh, or on the ground, wherever you're at today. Trying to keep a nice lengthening through the spine as we do it. Maybe closing down the eyes. Opening up with the eyes, feet coming down, stepping back to plank, then stepping all the way forward to our forward fold. Inhale up, exhale, palms down through center. And now I invite you to close the eyes and come to 5 deep breaths of your choice. Maybe just focusing on some deep belly breathing, or perhaps the Ujjayi breath, which you're actively constricting your throat and making a sort of growling sound by imagining you're fogging up a mirror, breathing through the nose. And then opening up the eyes. when you're ready, and we will come to J for Janusasana. So inhale, palms come up together. Exhale, we fold and back. Knees come down to the ground, and we find our way into a nice high sitting position, Dandasana pose. Buttocks come out to the side so we can feel our hip bones, our sit bones on the ground. From here, we'll bring our left foot in towards our right groin, and the sole of the foot will be actively pressing into the right thigh here. Inhale up here to lengthen the upper body. Exhale as we hinge from the hips forward, and we focus on bringing our head towards our shin, belly towards our thigh, and rather than putting pressure on our lower spine, relaxing through your left knee, that's just sitting down there, and your toes are actively reaching up towards your head along with your right quadricep switched on to lengthen through the back of the leg. And we switch sides. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips, and come into a nice fold here. And we come back to our Dandasana here, crossing the knees. Okay. Forward to our plank, stepping both feet forward to our forward fold. Inhale, spreading the palms. Exhale down through center. Now we come to K for kneeling with toes tucked. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, we fold and step back to our plank. Allowing the knees to drop, tucking under the toes and finding our way to sit back onto our heels. Now sitting nice and upright here. If it's a bit much, just lifting up here. And maybe just closing down the eyes and really just noticing where you're feeling any sort of tension, sensations, and just breathing into it. Noticing one foot compared to the other, and maybe noticing any other parts of the body that are sort of tensing up to resist this intense toe stretch. Opening up the eyes and coming back to your plank position, maybe stepping forward with the other foot than usual here. Inhale, spreading the palms. Exhale down through center. Now we'll come to locust pose. Inhale, the palms come up. Exhale, we fold over, hinging at the hips. Stepping back to our plank and maybe counting down 5 counts. Elbows by our sides, finding our way to our belly here. Palms face the sky. We squeeze our glutes, squeeze our quads, squeeze our feet together. Lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, we lift. And we're actively reaching our hands back towards our feet, keeping them parallel with the ground. And we're squeezing our shoulder blades back and together as well. Our equilibrium point is at our hip bones. So we're not sort of rocking forwards or rocking back like this. And then relaxing down. Palms come to our side. We tuck the toes under. Maybe pushing up to our plank. Stepping forward to our forward fold here. And just taking a moment to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Back to mountain posture. Opening up with the palms forward. Just ensure we're noticing our breath now. It's quite easy to hold our breath in some poses, so really becoming conscious of that throughout the sequence. In our mountain posture, we're active through our toes in the ground. You can feel that nice arch in the inside of the feet, squeezing with the quads and the glutes, tucking your tailbone under, and your chest is up and forward. Opening up the eyes, now we'll come to N for Navasana, boat pose. Inhale, palms come up. Exhale, we fold and we step back to our plank. From here, our knees come down and we find our way into a nice high sitting position. Inhale to lengthen the upper body. Exhale to come back to a 45-degree angle. We bring one foot up at a time and we're bouncing on our tailbone here. Hands can come beside the legs where they're parallel with the shins to the ground, or arms above the head for an extra strengthener. Make sure your belly button's towards your spine and you're pointing your toes. Your legs are squeezing actively together. Relaxing down through the shoulders. And coming back to your plank. Stepping forward to our forward fold. Inhale to spread the palms. Exhale down through center. Now we come to O for one-legged king pigeon. Inhale up. Exhale, we fold over and step back to our flank. From here, our hips come up and over and we readjust for our downward dog. We inhale, our right heel comes to the roof or the sky. Exhale, knee comes to chest and the right knee comes to the right hand. Left foot to left hand here. If that's too much, just bring the right foot back a little bit towards the groin for a less intense stretch through the outside of the hip. Notice your back foot, heel should be facing the sky, and we can come down onto our elbows to sink down a bit more into the stretch if we like. And we'll just change sides, so come back to your three-legged dog, right heel's up to the sky, and back down. Left heel comes to the sky on the inhale. On the exhale, the knee comes to chest, to the left hand, and the right foot comes to the right hand. And just breathing into this nice hip stretch here. Notice anywhere you're resisting this posture, maybe by tensing up. Then we'll tuck the back toe under, come back to our three-legged dog, and back to downward dog. Shifting forward to your hands, stepping forward with both feet to our forward fold. From here, inhale, palm spread. Exhale, down through center. P for plank pose. Inhale, palms come up. Exhale, folding over and stepping back to our plank. Now we want to notice straight away our hands. Thumbs should be facing each other. Index fingers forward and spread the rest of the palms, pressing into the hands so we activate through our shoulders. Belly button comes to spine, active through our glutes, squeezing our thighs, and our heels are pushing towards the back of the room. And then lengthening through the back of the neck, looking directly below you here. And you can tuck that chin into the chest a wee bit so we're not protruding out of the neck. Stepping forward with both feet to our forward fold. Inhale, spreading the arms. Exhale, and down through center. Q for quad stretch. Inhale up. Exhale to fold. And we'll step back with our right foot. Right knee comes to the ground. We inhale up to a nice low lunge here. And if you want an extra stretch, bringing our right ankle to our right hand and actively squeezing with your right hamstring to help hold that up. And we're just really feeling a stretch through the front of our right hip and right quad. If you need extra padding under your right knee, go ahead and grab a blanket or pillow. Trying to keep both hips and shoulders facing forwards. And then switching sides, back to our plank, right foot comes forward. And a good reminder here, we don't want our front and our right and left leg to be on a tightrope. We want these sort of hip width apart, so this knee is actually hip width apart from this right foot. also help your balance in a posture like this. Coming down to the ground, back to our plank, stepping forward to our forward fold. Inhale up, exhale down to the centre. R for reclined butterfly. Inhale up, exhale fold. Stepping back to our plank, knees come down and we find our way onto our backs again. Rolling through the spine maybe, just to give a quick massage, and then finding a place of stillness with your soles of your feet facing each other, letting your knees drop out. Palms are facing the sky or the ceiling. Your heels can be as far away from the groin as comfortable, but ideally just making sure our lower back's touching the ground, our belly buttons to our spine, and we can feel a nice stretch just through the front of the hips here. If you bring them further away, there will be less of an intense stretch through the groin. And bring the knees together, finding a way back to our plank posture, stepping forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, spreading the palms. Exhale, down through centre. S for side plank now. So inhale up, exhale to fold and stepping back to your plank. Now we shift our weight over onto our right hand, pushing actively down through that right hand as we stack our left foot on top of our right. Reaching up to the sky with the left hand as if someone's pulling you up to create a nice active bottom arm. Making sure your hips aren't sort of sagging on a nice straight line up to your shoulders from your feet, and looking up to your top hand if that's comfortable, and you don't lose your balance. Modification here is just the knee down. Back to plank, shifting to the other side, loading your weight through your left hand. Right arm's coming up to the sky. The sun is too bright so I can't look up, so I'm just looking down to my hand. Really focus on being nice and active through that hand and all of the fingers. And then coming back to neutral here. Stepping forward to our forward fold. Inhale, spreading the palms. Exhale down through centre. And now we come to T for tree pose. Shifting our weight over onto our right foot. So we activate down through all the toes as if they're fingers, and the left sole of the foot comes to our right calf or comes to our right groin. We want to keep our toes facing towards the ground, left knee is facing out to the side, and our palms come to our centre. We're looking forward at a still spot, probably a few metres ahead to our eye gaze. We're nice and active through our right quadricep, and our left sole foot is actively meeting their right thigh. We don't want to be resting that on the knee. It's either above or below the knee to protect the knee joint. Knee comes to the front as we come down and we switch sides, shifting our weight to our left. Right sole of the foot comes to our calf here. If we're feeling confident, coming up to our inside of our thigh. Actively pushing into the thigh to keep our knee directly to the side, and then the grounded leg is also active through the quad and the toes, and maintaining that arch in the inside of the foot as well. Trying to keep our hips facing directly forward. Knee comes to the front and we come down here. Now we come to U for upward facing dog. Inhale, palms come together and up. Exhale, we fold and we step back. Then we can come down, elbows beside our chest, and sneak up to our upward dog here if we like, or we can come through our full cobra first. Then just pushing into the top of the feet, lifting the quads and hips off the ground. So we're really active with our upper body into our hands. So our shoulders are doing a lot of work here. And we shouldn't feel any strain in the lower back. If we do, if we have any past injuries, just recommend coming to your full cobra as tolerated. Then we come back to our plank. Stepping forwards to our forward fold. Inhale. Coming up, exhale down through centre. V for Vibrajasana 2, Warrior 2. I'll get you to step back with that left foot. Right foot's facing forwards and left foot is 45 degrees from the front. From here we'll squeeze our left buttock to open up that left hip, so when our hip's facing the side of the mat. From here we'll bend down into that front knee, focusing on the fact that we can see our third toe and our knee is coming directly above this ankle, no further and no more inwards. So keep correcting that so your back hip is opening, knee is staying straight. Arms come out in front and we just breathe into Warrior 2 here, looking at your front hand. You should feel a nice hip opening stretch in this posture. And you should be grounded down through that back foot so you can feel the whole of the foot contacting the mat. And then pivoting on the front foot, pivoting on the back foot, so we're switching around to the other side. Left foot's facing forward, right foot's at 45, and we sink down into Warrior 2 on this side. And pivot around to the front, meeting with our palms at heart centre at the front of the mat. And now we come to W, today's posture, Warrior 3, Vibrajasana 3. And what we'll do is stepping back into our lunge, into our crescent lunge here, so bending that back leg, the right leg, and our palms come to our centre. What we'll do here is shifting forward to balance on the left leg. Toes are pointing on your right leg and that leg's nice and straight and already active. We slowly lift that right leg off the ground and from here bringing the toes towards the ground. So we can ground down through those toes and activate through our glutes. From here I'll get you to hinge over to where you're comfortable. So you only want to bring your upper body over as much as your back leg is coming up. If you're just here, perfectly fine, stay here. If you're here and you want a wee bit more, arms above the head to come to the full posture. And try not to lock out through that grounded leg, just a slight micro bend in the knee. And then coming back to our lunge, stepping forward, changing legs. So coming back to a nice crescent lunge here with the bent back leg, shifting your weight forward onto your right leg, straightening through the back leg, lifting off the ground here. Might need to reposition if you lose your balance. Toes face the ground and we're hinging forward at the hips. Both hips are facing the bottom there. And we're reaching the arms overhead. Nice and active through the grounded toes as well. Slowly lower that leg down, palms to centre, stepping forward to the front of our mat. Palms to the side, and we're done for today. Tomorrow we'll be back for X. Have a nice day.